Hello YouTube and welcome to Naval Action with Captain Redrum. Today we're going to be talking about the USS United States 1797, telling you a little bit about its history and the history within the game. Alright, so the USS United States was a three-masted heavy frigate of the United States Navy. She was one of the first of the 6 original frigates authorized for construction by the Naval Act of 1794. She was ordered on the 27th of March, 1794, and launched on the 10th of May, 1797. She was built and designed by Joshua Humphreys, who also designed the other 5 original frigates. It was built at Humphreys Shipyard in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She has a length of 175 feet, or 53 meters, a beam width of 43 feet 6 inches, or 13.26 meters, and a draft of 23 feet 6 inches, or 7.16 meters. She has a speed of 11 knots, and she had a complement of between 400 and 600 officers and enlisted personnel, with up to 50 Marines on board. She was armed with 32 24-pound long guns, 24 42-pound carronades. Now, her in-game comparison: in the game, she is armed with 30 42-pound carronades, 24 12-pound long guns, 2 18-pound long bow chasers, and 2 42-pound stern chasers. And in the game, she has a complement of 450 crew with optional Marines. She fought in the Quasi-Wars, the War of 1812, the Second Barbary War, and the American Civil War. Alright, so that's her construction history and how she was born and why she was ordered. Let's talk a little bit about the ship personally. What do I think about it? Well, I enjoy it. I think it's one of my favorite ships in the game. The Constitution and the United States are 2 of the same class of ship. Obviously, they were 2 of the 6 original frigates that were designed and ordered. But the United States, as it appears in the game here, is what the Constitution used to look like back when the game first came out. It was known as the Constitution Classic. The Constitution in the game now is what she looked like after a couple refits. So instead of reskinning it, they just made a new model, put the United States in the game as what the Constitution was, and the Constitution now is what it became. So, and I've always loved the Constitution. I've seen her personally, and it is a beautiful ship. And that's always kind of a bucket list ship of mine to have in this game. So, I'm actually working on slowing this ship down here so I can end up capturing it for a friend of mine who wants one. I'm not really built out of the best wood at the moment, so I'm taking a little bit more damage than I would like, but it's going to work out fine. It'll be okay. And I'm not doing the best of jobs with stern camping here at the moment, but it's not a big deal. I get better at it as the video goes on. I wasn't really trying awfully hard to do it at first, but anyway, let's get back to the history of the ship. On the 10th of May, 1797, she was the first American warship to be launched under the Naval Act of 1794 and the first ship of the United States Navy. She was fitted out at Philadelphia during the spring of 1798, and on the 3rd of July was ordered to proceed to sea. Relations with the French government had deteriorated, starting the Quasi-War. United States' nominal rating was that of a 44-gun frigate, however she usually carried over 50 guns. The United States was originally armed with a battery of 55 guns. She had 32 24-pound cannons, 22 42-pound carronades, and 1 18-pound long gun. Unlike modern naval vessels, ships of this era had no permanent battery of guns. Guns were portable and often exchanged between ships as situations warranted. Each commanding officer modified his vessel's armament to his liking, taking into consideration factors such as overall tonnage of cargo, complement of personnel on board, and routes planned to be sailed. Consequently, a vessel's armament would often change during its career, and records of those changes were not general. On the 3rd of February, 1797, the United States sighted a French ship and began a 5-hour pursuit of the schooner L'Amour de la Patrie. After coming in close with the vessel, the United States opened fire. Third shot went completely through the French ship, sinking her rapidly. Captain John Barry sent out his boats to collect survivors of the schooner, and they were taken prisoner. United States then set course for Guadalupe to arrange a prisoner exchange with the French, but Berry's flag of truce was ignored when shore batteries opened fire on the boat carrying Berry's envoy. Berry returned to the United States and ordered his gun crews to bombard the batteries in return. On the 26th of February, the United States pursued a French privateer, Democrat, which had recently taken the prize of an English ship, Cicero. The United States recaptured Cicero, but the pursuit of the Democrat ended when she escaped into shallow waters. The United States also recaptured Maria, another one of Democrats' prizes, and sent both Cicero and Maria to Martinique. Returning to Guadalupe, Berry made another attempt at prisoner exchange. However, the governor told Berry that he held no prisoners because there was no war with the United States. Though skeptical, Berry released his prisoners, and on March 26, the United States took the French privateer La Tartuffe and his prize, the American ship Vermont, south of Antigua. Also recorded is the capture of Le Bonaparte sometime in 1799. In April, Berry turned over command of the squadron to Thomas Truxtun. The United States sailed for home and arrived at Newcastle, Delaware on the 9th of May. Berry recruited new crew members to replace those whose enlistment had expired while the United States underwent refits and repair. She sailed again on the 1st of July with orders to patrol the southern Atlantic coast of the United States. Encountering a storm on the 6th, which sprung her bowsprit, she continued to deliver an artillery company to Fort Moultrie and then put into Gosport Navy Yard for repairs on the 22nd. Returning to patrols on the 13th of August, the United States experienced an uneventful period and at times sailed in company with their sister ships, George Washington and Insurgent. The United States remained in the Washington Navy Yard through the First Barbary War of 1801 through 1805 and up until 1809, when orders were given to ready her for active service. On the 10th of June, 1810, now under the command of Stephen Decatur, she sailed to Norfolk, Virginia for refitting. While she was at Norfolk, Captain John S. Garden of the Royal Navy, commander of the new British frigate HMS Macedonian, wagered Captain Decatur a beaver hat that his vessel would take the United States if the two should ever meet in battle. Ichabod B. Crane, whose name was appropriated for the main character of the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, served under Decatur as a lieutenant in the Marine detachment aboard the ship. The United States declared war on Britain on the 18th of June, 1812. 3 days later, Decatur and the United States sailed from New York City with a squadron under the command of Commodore John Rogers in USS President. Other ships of the squadron were Congress, Hornet, and Argus, departed on a 70-day North Atlantic cruise. A passing American merchant ship informed Rogers about a fleet of British merchantmen en route to Britain from Jamaica. Rogers and his squadron sailed in pursuit and on the 23rd of June encountered what was later learned to be HMS Belvidera. The United States and the squadron returned to pursuing the Jamaican fleet and on the 1st of July began to follow a trail of coconut shells and orange peels that the Jamaicans had left behind them. The United States sailed within 1 day's journey of the English Channel, but never sighted the convoy. Rogers called off the pursuit on the 13th of July. During their return trip to Boston, the squadron captured 7 merchant ships and recaptured 1 American vessel. After some refitting, the United States, still under Decatur's command, sailed again on the 8th of October with Rogers, but on the 12th departed from the squadron for her own patrol. 3 days later, after capturing Mandarin, the United States parted company and continued to cruise eastward. At dawn, on the 25th, 500 miles south of Azores, lookouts on board the United States reported seeing a sail 12 miles to windward. As the ship rose over the horizon, Captain Decatur made out the familiar lines of HMS Macedonian. Both ships were immediately cleared for action and commenced maneuvers at 0900. Captain Carden elected not to risk crossing the bows of the United States to rake her, but chose instead to haul closer to the wind on a parallel course with the American vessel. For his part, Decatur intended to engage Macedonian from a fairly long range, where his 24-pound cannons would have the advantage over the 18-pound cannons of the British. The actual battle developed according to Decatur's plan. The United States began at 0920 by firing an inaccurate broadside at the Macedonian. This was answered immediately by the British vessel bringing down a small spar of the United States. Decatur's next broadside destroyed the Macedonian's mizzen topmast, letting her driver gaff fall, and so giving the advantage in maneuver to the American frigate. United States then took up a position off Macedonian's quarter and proceeded to riddle her with shot. By noon, Macedonian was a dismasted hulk and forced to surrender. She had suffered 104 casualties against 12 in the United States, which emerged from the battle reluctantly unscathed. The two ships lay alongside each other for over 2 weeks, while Macedonian was repaired sufficiently to sail. The United States and her prize entered New York Harbor on the 4th of December amid jubilation over victory. Captain Decatur and his crew were received with praise from both Congress and President James Madison. She was abandoned by the U.S. Navy on the 20th of April, 1861, and left in Norfolk, Virginia. Before leaving the shipyard, Union fire crews failed to burn the vessel along with other abandoned ships, thinking it was unnecessary to destroy the relic. Confederate troops who pressed for vessels in any condition thought otherwise. They pumped her out and commissioned the frigate CSS United States, although they often called her the Confederate States. On the 29th of April, and then on the 15th of June, she was fitted out and as a receiving ship, with a deck battery of 19 guns for harbor defense. In this role, she served her new owners well, but she was ordered sunk in the Elizabeth River in Virginia to form an obstruction to Union vessels, with the Confederates abandoning the naval yard in May of 1862. The old timbers of the frigate were so strong and well preserved that they ruined one whole box of axes while attempting to scuttle her. It was unnecessary to bore through the hull from inside the ship before she was sunk. She remained there until March of 1864, when the Bureau of Construction and Repair decided to break her up and sell the wood. And this was delayed until the Bureau ordered on the 18th of December that the frigate be docked at Norfolk and finally broken up. Alright, so what do I think of the ship? Well, again, I said I enjoy sailing her. I think she's beautiful. She's very fast when needs to be, fast enough to get away from anything she can't fight, and she has a decent amount of firepower. Now, again, I'm trying to slow the ship down so I could capture it for a friend of mine. I have taken all of the stern armor off of the ship, as you can see, and I am now loading grape shot into both sides of the ship so I could start killing the crew. Now, I'm not going to go through an entire boarding tutorial here as how I do it. I can make a separate video about that if needed. But here we go. I'm trying to line up the shot here. Test fires on grape. I am getting some crew. Alright, decent broadside there. Loading grape again, trying to turn to stay behind her. Try to really focus on the stern camping now. I've taken a little bit too much damage on the port side, so I'm trying to keep her cannons on the right side if at all possible, checking the timer on my repair, and still trying to turn. Eventually the enemy is going to turn into the wind, and this is what we want, because it's going to slow her down enough for us to get behind her and try another grape shot here. So we are turning through the wind. Everything looks good. There you go. Alright, she is stuck in the wind and getting ready to try to turn out of that, so we are going to get in position, try to get as close as we can. I depower just to kind of balance the ship a little and slow down. I'm loading grape shot into my bow chasers now, just in case I need them. I have grape shot loaded on the starboard side. We are too far away for the grape shot to be effective at the moment, so I'm doing a little bit of a test fire just to see if I can pick off a couple crew, which I can't. So I decide instead to not shoot the full broadside at the moment. I want to try to get a little closer, which we are doing. Alright, now we're just about in the right position here, and fire. Beautiful. Alright, and look at that crew number. Alright, perfect. He's now into crew shock. It's beautiful. Got over 70 crew on that. Alright, so now I'm going to reload those side guns again, and then turn to the left to follow him. I could turn right and get through the wind, but that would possibly put me in position of his guns, and I would rather not do that, so I just decided to turn left here and follow him around. Alright, so now we're finally turning back around. Got the grape shot loaded on the right side again, but I need to get it loaded on the left side. We are doing a repair at the moment, just to try to get a little bit of our hull armor back. But I'm not really in any severe danger here. I still have plenty of now, our objective here is to basically cross the T here. We want to sail directly towards them. So when they start to turn, we can follow them and possibly get a good grape shot broadside on the stern of the ship. So I'm now sailing at a direct 90-degree crosswind, which is not the best, but it's decent for this ship. Coming up now. This should be a really good pass. Let's see. There we go. Alright, I didn't get as many in that broadside, but that is fine. We still got a decent number. Alright, so reload that side, turn to the right, and follow. I could board them at the moment. I could if I really wanted to, but I want to try to get the crew number down as a little bit lower, as close to 100 as possible, but definitely below my crew number, which makes everything easier. So if you have Marines, it does help, but I don't have Marines on this ship yet, so that will come later. But now we're completing our turn to the right. Got grape shot loaded. He's stuck in the wind, which is perfect, because we want to be able to get behind him, which we are doing. This is gorgeous. Alright, so now we're going to go for this shot here. Lining up again. We're still too far away, so we need to get a little closer. I do take a couple shots, and I do get a few crew, but nothing really worth writing home about. So I don't think did I don't remember if I actually fired the full broadside here or not. Oh, I fired one deck. I fired one gun deck, and I didn't get anything, so I decided to not press the issue there. Just turned into the wind, which I should not have done. I should have turned the other way because I got stuck in range of his guns, and I couldn't make up my mind which way I wanted to turn here. So you see me kind of turning the sails and turning the rudder, and had a bit of an issue there with myself. I couldn't decide which way I wanted to turn, but regardless, I ended up turning the wrong way and put myself directly broadside to his guns. So I take a little bit more damage than I really should have here, but luckily it is on the starboard side, so it is on the side that has our best armor at the moment. So again, I'm not overly concerned about it. So now We have turned through the wind here, not really on the best of headings at the moment because the wind is still primarily in our face, but we are continuing the turn. We need to get back into position and get behind him. He's still on our right side, which is fine because it's our best armor. Now, I did just tell my men to begin boarding preparations. I have taken them off of my guns completely. So at this point, I have decided, okay, his crew's low enough, I want to try to board him now. So again, I begin to try to turn to get behind him. I slow down just a little bit to make my turn a little tighter. I could have worked my sails a little bit better here, but I was focused on trying to turn to get behind him. But we are turning rather sharply, so that's good. Gotta push the bow in the direction you want to go. Drag the stern, there we go. Okay. Good. Straightening the sails, good. He's going to be stuck in the wind here, which is going to give us the perfect opportunity to board him. Now, I decided I wanted ball shot loaded into my cannons instead of grape for the boarding, so I turned gunnery back on, and I'm trying to load those because his armor's not low enough for grape shot to be effective during the boarding process, so we are loading ball onto one side of the ship, but inevitably it wouldn't have made a difference. I should have left them on the preparation anyway because the position that my ship is going to be in once we actually engage the boarding, it wouldn't have been effective with ball or grape. So, lesson learned. Now, he's turning directly towards me, and this could have gone really bad for me here. I decided to ram into his bow and push him back into the wind to keep him slow enough that I could board him. That could have been bad for me, but it ended up being fairly good. I could have broken my nose off and slowed me down, or I could have broken his nose off, which would have worked for me, slowing him down. But anyway, so boarding, like I said, I'm not going to go through a full boarding tutorial here. I can do that later if you guys wish. Just let me know. Now, mainly the things you have to focus on are the enemy's preparation level, their morale level, and your preparation level. If you notice, with AI boarding, it is much easier than PvP boarding, obviously. With the AI, if you watch their preparation level, every time it drops, that means that they have selected an attack to do, and they will never change out of that once they select it. So I usually wait for them to do their first one, and then I click attack. Now, I got a decent kill on that one, but he did fire some grenades at the same time, so we kind of traded there. It wasn't awfully. Now, see, I did try to fire some of the cannons here to see if it would do anything, and I got a couple hits, but nothing severe. You don't need to necessarily get his crew down to 0 to win. If you drop his morale, he will surrender as well. So either way works. But just alternate between musket volley, brace, attack, defend, whatever suits the purpose of the boarding. Whatever the enemy decides to do, you need to counteract it. There we go. I had another good attack. Put him into crew shock. His morale dropped again. He's almost dead. This works out great for me. And we are bracing one more time. Very good. Okay. Now, watch his preparation. It did not drop, so we're going to stay in brace. There it goes. Okay, he's up to 95 preparation. So now we're going to watch it again. Stay in brace. Stay in brace one more time. Alright, because he did not move. Now he's still in 95 prep. As soon as he drops, we make our attack. There he goes. Okay, he dropped from 95 to 85. There we go. Alright, so now we click attack. He will not change his attack, and we win. There we go. Alright, so now you loot the ship, take what's on it, capture the ship if need be, which I'm going to. And that's the end of the video. So if you guys want to see more, let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching. I will see you all in the next one.